Scarcity and abundance. Plate theory is for your benefit, not for women's. That might sound harsh, but it's a method intended to increase your value as a commodity that works on two levels. First, the external. By practicing honest, non-exclusive dating, you communicate to your prospective plates that you are in demand. I've gone so far as to tell men to foster this sense by never entering the phone from Friday to Sunday evening, even when they have no other plans. The perception that your attention is sought after increases its value. It's when men are too eager to get with a woman that their attention becomes worthless and interest levels decline. Nothing serves a man better than having 3 or 4 women competing for his exclusive attention and fostering in them that feminine competitive anxiety in as subtle and covert a way as possible. Make no mistake, it's a real art that women are all too familiar with themselves in their own intergender dealings. Women are natural plate theorists. They simply use their varying degrees of physical attractiveness to line their plates up. Secondly, plate theory is for a man's own internal benefit. It's much easier for a man to not give a shit if he truly doesn't give a shit. It's far easier to deal with women on the basis of indifference when you have a subconscious knowledge that there are at least 3 other women who will be happy to have your attention if one plays games with you. The reason men fail most shit tests women give them is because they subconsciously telegraph too much interest in a single woman. Essentially, a shit test is used by women to determine one or a combination of these factors. A. Confidence, first and foremost. B. Options. Is this guy really into me because I'm special, or am I his only option? C. Security. Is this guy capable of providing me with long-term security? By practicing plate theory, your mental attitude will be such, or should be such, that you will pass most shit tests based simply on this practice. Abundance thinking is the root of plate theory. A lot has been written about approaching women, and really life in general, from a position of abundance. People often make the mistake of assuming that having a wide variety of choices tends to cheapen the commodity, and to a degree this is accurate. But it also allows for a better, learned awareness of which choice amongst the pool is common and which is of higher quality. But Rollo, I'm so busy that I have no choice but to ignore and postpone. They sense it and seek me out. I worry that I'll create crazies. My weekends are jammed. At what point do we stop? This is the best problem you can have. You've successfully flipped the script. You've gotten to a point where it becomes instinctive, and your plates actively seek out your attention. By default, you're creating value by scarcity. At what point do you stop? How old are you? If you're under 30, stay in the game. If you're over 30, stay in the game, but cool things off occasionally. The only time a man should even contemplate monogamy is after experiencing abundance. If you're inundated with women occupying your weekends, consider hooking up with a proven plate on a Thursday evening and reserve your weekends for your other pursuits. Also, don't be afraid to clear your schedule to hang out with friends or do other things that interest you. Remember, scarcity increases value. Too many guys think that plate spinning is something that needs a constant effort. It doesn't. In fact, applying yourself equally across all your active plates only pushes you closer to settling for 1 or 2. Most guys think that they don't have to continually spin their plates. You don't. If you're doing it correctly, they'll spin themselves for you. The anxiety is that if you don't keep applying attention to any one plate, she'll lose interest and fall off. Sometimes this is the case, and you have to be prepared to accept it. Some plates have to break in order to spin more, and that's okay. More often than not, however, your scarcity will create value and mystique. Thus, they will pursue you for their affirmation. Plate theory, of course, can be a means to an LTR, but bear in mind that it's essential that you practice it long enough and effectively enough to determine what a quality woman means to you and how to recognize her. As with most game skills, the uninitiated will use them to some degree of success up to the point that he finds his idealized girl of his dreams and launch into a self-destructive LTR because his idealization was based on juvenile impressions, rather than a mature understanding of what a quality woman's characteristics are. This is all due to a lack of concrete experience. Spin plates for as long as possible, Because once you do commit to an LTR, even with the tightest of game, you will lose a measure of the competitive anxiety that made your attentions valuable to any one woman. All of your plates fall off, and the girl you're engaged in an LTR with gets too comfortable. This is the root of why men find that the woman they had hot, sweaty monkey sex with when they were dating becomes more sexually reserved a few months after they're a couple. The competitive anxiety is relieved, and therefore sexual frequency and quality is no longer a proving trait for her. That's not to say there aren't methods to stoke this anxiety in an LTR. But, by comparison to being single, the frame of the relationship doesn't have to be contested when she and you understand that she is your only source of intimacy and sex. In a committed relationship, you simply cannot spin plates.